A couple of days ago, wifey went off to Walmart and brought me back this belt. I needed one for work. Mine was shot. And it's a nice looking belt, really. Great looking buckle, strong and everything. Unfortunately, the first time I cinched the belt up, it's separated right here. This buckle actually came over, it just fell out. The two pieces were not together, the two pieces of metal. I couldn't believe it. I told the wife, I said, first time I cinched it up, look at this. It just separated apart. Well, I decided to do something about it. Alright, these 4 screws right here removed the buckle from those holes right there. And this pin is the one I'm talking about. It had a spring fitting over the outside of it, like so. And then the spring went down through that hole in the center there. This screw with the, it's not really a screw, it's some kind of a strange looking rivet or something goes down through there. And then it goes down into there. So I'm going to do a little gluing here and see if I can't get this thing back together before I go to work. Rather than use glue, I decided the first time, well, I'll probably have to fix this again. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and take a flat ended screw and stick down in there like that on top of that rivet head. And then just wrap it down in there and reset that rivet down in that hole. I gave it a few good wraps. And it seems to be holding right now. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't hold, well, we'll just have to go to glue route next time and still use this to wrap it in, down in the hole. So let's go ahead and put the belt back together. It's almost time for me to go to work. I got to have something to hold my pants up. Alright, she's back together. Some of you are probably saying, well, why didn't he just take it back to China Mart and get a new belt? Well, where's the fun in that? While I was in Rogers, I went to a few flea markets and I found this that had been there for quite a while. Actually, I saw this in the flea market a few months ago. It's a Thomas Edison C250 diamond disc, I think it's diamond disc, phonograph. Now, of course, the grill is not original. I knew that right off the bat, but whoever did it did a fairly good job. They used anodized aluminum in front of a kind of an old type cloth. I think it would have been better if they'd have painted this brown, or I don't know what's behind there. I'm going to try to find an original grill for this. Behind there is the horn speaker, but I don't know. There's something behind the cloth. I don't know what. I'll have to take that apart and take a look at it. Anyway, it had sat there for so long. I told the guy I'd give him half of what he was asking for it, and he took it. And I said, well, how about that? Now, I don't know what year this is from, somewhere around 1920s, I know that. And there were this drawers where the records are kept, the diamond disc records. Kind of a neat little deal. There's some stuff down in there that needs to come out too. I'm going to try to get this thing back as original as possible. And it has some more issues besides the speaker, the grill. And it is a Thomas Edison. And the reason I bought this thing is I don't know anything about them. It'd be kind of neat to learn, I thought, And since the price was right and the man accepted my offer, I went ahead and drug it home. I don't think that reproducer is original either. I think it's this is called a balance number 3 reproducer. It seems to me the reproducer I'm talking about, it's hard for me to hold this lid up here because the hinge has come loose and is falling down in the slot there on the side. Easy fix on that. A couple of screws missing from the hinge, the lid hinge. I'm not even certain that's an original. Doesn't even look original, I don't know. Anyway, this reproducer is this silver thing here. It seems to me the original one sat horizontally, not vertically, but it has no needle in it. And it does wind up. It has the winding handle right there. It does wind up and it does play. It goes round, it goes round and round. But of course, once it starts playing on a record, it increases the tension or the friction, and depending on how strong the spring is, it could slow it right down to a stop. So all of this will have to come out. I will not be doing a YouTube video on this. This is something I'll just be piddling with myself, playing around with it. I'm even going to try to find a key for it. I don't know, maybe I can find one somewhere. I thought that was pretty neat. It's The guy just could not get anybody to buy it. It's got a little veneer problem right here in the lid. I think I can take care of. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do any refinishing on this at all. I'm just going to kind of clean it up and make it look real good. Best I can. But, you know, primarily I want to try to get an original grill for that. I don't know if I'll get that. But like I said, I don't know anything about it. So it'll just be, you know, every once in a while I'll pop up and show everybody what kind of progress we're making. Another issue we have with this phonograph is it came with 32 old Edison records. Now I don't know if you know, this is supposed to be a diamond disc player, a diamond disc phonograph, and I assume all of these records, you know, these are the old thick records. They're really thick, as you can see, 1/4 inch thick. And I've been spending the last about the last hour cleaning all 32 of these with 70% alcohol. I went online. That's what I found out you should clean them with, is alcohol and soft rag. Well, I went down to Walmart and picked up some socks, and this is the color of the sock after the first cleaning of all 32. Pretty mangy. Now, this is the second cleaning. It's a lot lighter. Now I'm going to go over them again, maybe even 4 times before it's over, and get them as clean as I can. But you know, there were different kinds of records in there. There was the kind without the label. It just has a sort of a relief of Thomas Edison on it, and his says a product of the Edison Laboratories on the right hand side, and a picture of him on the left. No label. This one here says Edison record. Just came along, I guess, a little later on. A product of the Edison Laboratories again. And here's the third one. I thought there were 4 different kinds, but apparently there's only 3. I assume they're all diamond disc. I don't even know what a diamond disc record is. I guess that's the thick ones. I don't know. Anyway, I found a place online that deals with Edison phonographs. It's much like the Antique Radio Forum, only it's the online Edison phonograph forum or something like that. I'm going to sign up for that and start asking a lot of questions. And this one here has the relief of Edison on the left and kind of a shield on the right. So that's the difference between that one and the one below it. Anyway, out of the 32 records, 5 were bad. I can't do anything with these. They're cracked, busted all the way through. Warped, messed up, they gotta go. They're just junk. Supposed to get a rain tonight, about, maybe almost 2 inches. And the drain across the road here has been clogged up by all these pine needles that fall out of these giant pine trees here. So, since the temperature today is 72, it's a good day to get out and get some work done. We're going to go ahead and clear out this ditch as much as possible. And I needed a big machine to get it done. But then I decided, I've got a big machine. It's called a grandson. So he's out there just cutting trees. He was supposed to have been here an hour ago, and he's late. So now he's going to work it off. And there's the pile of brush we got out of that little old ditch. I'll tell you what, after a long winter's layover, this little old physical effort it took to get this ditch a little cleaner about killed me. God, I'm not used to this stuff. Man, I'm sore all over already. I thought I'd let everybody see the daffodils. The first daffodils in our yard. We haven't had any of these for quite a while. I don't even know where they came from. Yeah, the light bulb blew on the light over the top of the sink, and when I decided to unscrew it, the base just came right loose, which, you know, give me a break. Jeez. Well, I tried to get the base out and it just wouldn't work, so it's an old light. So guess what? I'm going to have to install a brand new one. It's about 7 o'clock at night, and it is Saturday night, and which means it is time for Great Grandma and I to eat our ice cream. We love ice cream on a Saturday night, and it's kind of a tradition around here. So I'll probably go to her room, and she's probably trying to go to sleep, but I'm going to wake her up. She knows she gets her ice cream on Saturday night. Now normally we eat butter pecan, but tonight, you know, wifey decided to buy some strawberries, so we're going to put a little strawberry syrup on that for her. Make it taste really good. And Great Grandma's in her 80s, but she still likes that ice cream. Well, here she is, sitting there waiting for that ice cream, ain't you?
What's wrong?
Here you go, Great Grandma. Is that enough? I mean, you're not going to complain. Okay. Now, in addition to Great Grandma and I liking ice cream ourselves, we have 3 other ice cream lovers in this house. So let's see if I can get them out here. Who wants ice cream? You all want ice cream? Come and get it. Come and get the ice cream. We got one here. One is here. There he says, oh, give me my ice cream. I love ice cream. That's old Boo-Boo. And here comes Mac. Come and get it, boy. He says, give me my ice cream. Old Mac, he's about his winter fur has to be cut off in a couple of days. I don't give him a haircut in the wintertime because he's an old dog. And I'm afraid he'll catch pneumonia and get sick. But Thursday is his appointment. They're going to cut his hair. And he's going to look handsome again. Here you go, Rocky. Here's yours, okay? No, Mac. Over here is yours. Here you go, sweetheart, okay? There we go. All right. The 3 ice cream hounds. Rocky, Mac, and Boo-Boo. Well, a day or so ago, the wife's timer went out in her dryer, and I tore it apart. There was nothing I could do. It's just a series of contact switches in there. They look like what used to be points in a car engine. But anyway, the plastic rings were all busted. You can hear them rattling inside, and I couldn't fix them. So we went down to a local parts store, and $86. This thing was $86. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I installed the new one in her dryer, and she's happy again. Wifey's drying clothes once again, but I wish I could have fixed it. I could have saved $86. But you can't glue back plastic that's so thin you can almost see through it. Right now, all the power supplied to my workbench is coming through this small strip, and then it goes down that white wire and plugs into the wall socket. And I'm always having to sometimes unplug something and plug something in because I never seem to have enough outlets when I need it. And I don't have them all operating at the same time. Of course, I'll turn one on and turn something else off. I don't want it to get hot inside here. Anyway, I decided it was time for an upgrade. So when I went to Rogers the other day to visit with my grandson, I stopped in at Harbor Freight, and I found a 12 outlet power strip. This thing is so cool. 12 outlets. I think this thing was only like $19 or something like that. Really cheap. This baby is going to be installed on the shelf above the bench. I haven't quite figured out how to do it yet. Anyway, there's the old light fixture from above the sink that we're going to replace. It was really ratty, just brittle. The plastic around the light bulb socket just broke into pieces. Piece of junk. Time to go. And we'll just go ahead and add $86 to it. Well, I've decided that the best place to mount this strip would be along the front edge of this shelf. Just like that. Kind of reminds me of the old Army electronic vans I used to see. They had the power strips all along the edges of the shelves like this also that they worked on. Anyway, now I got to figure out, I have a couple of ways to mount it there. I decided to just remove the back from this thing, mount the back, and then go ahead and reattach the main part here. Using these little screws that I removed that held it all together. And I'm not going to be able to drill a hole through here. There's a backing plate on there, right there, and it's designed to cover this right here, but I guess I could drill all the way through it, but I'm not going to. I'll just come down a little ways. I'll put 3 screws in this thing, 1, 2, 3. One in the center, one on each end, and then go ahead and just screw it to the shelf using these screws right here. I want them to be fairly long. Okay, we got the strip screwed up, and I used my my drill with the bit in, but the last few turns should always be made by hand, because you can over tighten it with those drill bits. Always use your hand and a screwdriver to get it that last few turns, so you can kind of feel when it gets just at the right point. Well, there it is. She's all done, nice and secure. The best part about this is it's got a little lip behind it to keep the bottles from falling off the edge of the shelf. That turned out to be a double function there. All right, let's go ahead and turn it on and take the old radio and plug it in over here. Get it out of the way. See, I can just take it and put it right out of the way. And just turn it on. Look at that. Oh, is that good or is that good? I brought wifey over here. I said, now doesn't that make you want to bring out your iron and plug it in and start ironing? She said no. Huh. What we have here is a total failure with this coil I made wrapped around a PVC pipe, and just a partial failure that I initially wrapped wire around this pill bottle, but it was too small. I wrapped it around, using copper wire, and I wrapped it just like this, but it just didn't do the job for what I wanted it to do. So I cut a piece of PVC pipe and wrapped more wire around it, and it was a failure. Both of them initial tries were total failures. Then I got together with Brendan, the old mentor. He always comes through with this sort of thing. What we have here is a 200 microhenry coil and a trimmer cap that goes from 300 picofarads up to 1,000. The initial trimmer cap I had that I used with this coil was only, I think it was 365 picofarads. Anyway, what I'm attempting to do is make an alteration to the AM transmitter that I built. I'm building a tank circuit, and we're having some degree of success with this right here. Just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on that. There's going to be some changes in the future, so kind of stay tuned on that. Now today I spent a little bit of money downtown, which I always enjoy doing on Saturday. Wifey and I go down. We usually blow a wad every Saturday on crap you don't need. This is going to be the switch for the on-off, or the box for the on-off switch for our power supply. That's the switch, and I got a little cover for it. I picked up this cover and the switch at a flea market for 50 cents a piece. That worked out pretty good. Then I went to Lowe's and got the box, actually. So the box came from Lowe's, and these two things came from a flea market. Brand new items for 50 cents. Good deal. And I got some fuses and what else did I get? Oh yeah, a fuse holder for it. I'm going to put a fuse in the power supply box. And I got some heat sink compound. And I picked up a little larger circuit board in case I muff up the one I'll be using initially. If not, I can use it for something else. Only $3, what the heck. And then I got, to simulate our load, I have a light socket, miniature lamp holder, and I've got some 6.3 volt screw base lamps to go into it. And I have a tantalum 1.0 microfarad capacitor. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what a tantalum capacitor looks like. I'm so impressed. A few days ago I ordered a couple of mid-range woofers on eBay, 4-inch jobs, 8 ohms, and they have arrived. They were brand new and they look really nice. I'm kind of proud to own these things. They look really good. Anyway, you can call them squawkers, middies, whatever you want to call them. They're mid-range. And in the not too distant future, we're going to be doing something with both of these. I think some of you will find it interesting. And one more light needs to come down. Wifey wants one of those motion detector lamps put in. Motion detector lights put in our carport. This was probably installed in our carport when this house was built back in the 60s. That's amazing. And would somebody please tell me how bugs get inside the sealed glass? And that's where the motion detector light will be going in. So I have 2 lights to install today. Well, the motion sensor lights are in. Unfortunately, though, we have to use regular incandescents right now. I picked up the wrong bulbs. These are right by my thumb down there. It says they're par 30s, and what this thing takes is a par 38, and I didn't notice that. I put a little caulking around it also. And this is the light fixture. Wifey went downtown and picked up a little while ago to put over the sink. So I will put that one up next. And last but not least, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new light. One more chance to iron my clothes using my new power strip over there. You want one more chance? I'm giving you one more chance.
How long has it been since you had an iron shirt?
This is not a discussion topic. It's yes, sir, or no, sir.
Well, honey, I think you'll have to wait that many years again. At least 40.
40 more years?
Before I
Before
plug
you
that,
use that power strip in your iron?
before I plug the iron up anywhere.